running water never grows stale. So you got to just keep on flowing.
I remember the moment it plays in my head on repeat. I can still hear the sound of your voice, feel the tears on my cheek. If I could find a way to go back, I would beg you to stay. I can't do it alone. When you're gone, I just drift on the waves. I try to get over you, but what am I supposed to do? I don't know why. I still need you, and as hard as I try, I still need you. Would a piece of my heart be enough to begin it again? I don't mind, take it all, honestly, I would give anything just to feel for a moment, go back to the way that it was. To be young, to be yours, to forget everything we become. I try to get over you, but what am I supposed to do? I don't know why. I still need you, and as hard as I try, I still need you. 'Cause I built my life around all the thought that we would make it, all the promises we made. I'm still trying to get over you, but what am I supposed to do? I don't know why. I still need you, and as hard as I try, I still need you. I remember the moment it plays in my head on repeat.
Good morning. Happy Friday, June 30th. The time is now 7:57 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. I am RJ Shine, and we have got a great ride planned for today. Some amazing brand new music. We're going to talk about the CBDCs, and we're going to cover some news too. So please stay tuned. Let's get into this. The first one is actually interesting. It might jog your attention. It says Earth is a virtual reality. I'll let you think about that for a little while, and let's get into the first meme of the morning. It says, I'm not impressed by your looks, money, social status, or job title. I'm impressed by the way you treat other humans. Remember this weekend and moving forward. How are you treating other human beings? Are you being kind? Are you being loving? Or are you being anything else? Other than that, the question I will leave with you to decide. It says here, be careful with your words. Once they are said, they can only be forgiven, but not forgotten. So choose our words carefully. This one says, if the words you spoke appeared on your skin, would you still feel beautiful? If everything that you said and how you treated other people became tattoos on your body, would that change the way you spoke and the way you treated others? I'll leave that up to you, for you to decide. This one says, in a world where you can be anything, what you really need to be is kind. That's the most important thing that we can actually be, is truthful and kind. This one says, before you assume, learn the facts. Before you judge, understand why. Before you hurt someone, feel. And before you speak, think. These are things that I'm constantly trying to work on, and I'm always repeating them and continuing to make them habits. Before I assume, I try to learn the facts. Before I judge, I try to understand why. Before I hurt somebody, I try to feel. And before I speak, I try to think. And I want to recommend that to each of you on the other side of the screen. And if it's your calling, hey, it will keep calling until you listen to it. And check this out. This is a guy who was headed out to paddleboard. Look at this dolphin, absolutely crushes into him. Let's see that again. I'm sure he was fine, but I can't believe the dolphin literally aims for him. Watch. Dolphins, here he comes. Boom! He's going to come out. He's doing a nice hockey check right there. But thank you for tuning in. Let's go to a song break, and we'll get into the CBD stuff after this.
Load up on guns, bring all your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend. She's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello, hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I'm worse at what I do best, and for this gift I feel blessed. Our little group has always been and always will until the end. Hello, hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. And I forget just what I did. Oh yeah, I guess it makes me smile. I found it hard. It's hard to find. Oh well, whatever, never mind. Hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. Entertain us. Entertain us. Entertain us. Entertain
And that brand new cover was by Daphne Gale with Smells Like Teen Spirit. And come on, let's get back into the morning show. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Rise and Grind. And what we want to start off with today is the CBDC tyranny. In the ongoing quest for power and control, the elite are building the framework of the future cashless society via the blockchain-based central bank digital currency, better known as the CBDC system. They will be able to track and trace all transactions. They could also limit certain transactions and can turn off your CBDC account as they see fit. Thus, it's an enslavement tool designed to take away our remaining bits of privacy and freedom. It is setting the stage for the future one world currency, or the MOTB. Are you tuning in? Are you paying attention? This is the story that we believe on this team that's being hidden while they're pushing all these other Wagner coups and Titanic dis and mis and malinformation, is because they don't want you to know that they are steamrolling ahead into the MOTB society, the mark of the you-know-what. Let's get into a little bit of this. It says the end of fiat. The framework to fully bring in the CBDC is to ultimately eliminate fiat paper cash from all nations. This means cash will soon no longer be king, and people will no longer be able to hide it under their beds. A possible scenario to make this happen is that the elite will deliberately crash worldwide economies, as well as Bitcoin and most, if not all, cryptocurrencies, and or ban fiats, BTC and cryptos, just like China and India have already done, to get everyone on board, yes, with their nation's CBDC systems. This would be a great way to make sure there will be no competition for the CBDC. The terrified public, frightened by the fragility of the banking system, will welcome the CBDC. Indeed, they will beg for the security of a single worldwide currency. Cash and CBDCs may coexist only for a short while, but in the long run, CBDCs will be dominant and cash will be dead. Not king, but dead. China has paved the way for this mass adoption. In 2014, China was the first country to propose a national digital currency. Later in 2021, China banned Bitcoin and all things crypto related, while also launching a pilot of its digital yuan, which is now being trailed by millions of consumers with more than 100 billion transactions across the nation. China's digital yuan has certainly been the forerunner, paving the way for our major economies to test run their CBDCs. Therefore, it is reasonable to suggest that many nations are following in the same path of China by not only launching a CBDC, but also banning Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. India appears to be following this game plan, as they have known plans to ban Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies while piloting their CBDC, the e-rupee. Currently, over 100 countries are exploring CBDCs at one level or another. Some are researching, some testing, and a few already distributing CBDC to the public. The tyrannical limitations of the CBDC. As CBDCs are programmable, the elite could limit the amount of specific things people are able to buy by setting, quote, category quotas. For example, if you try to buy candy, you can't buy it because you've met your quota of chocolate. You'll have to buy a veggie snack instead. Secondly, there could be also an expiration date for your CBDC, limiting your time to buy. For example, if you receive 100 CBDCs a year ago that have a 1-year expiration date and you still have not spent them, you will lose them since it has now been a year. And they are now expired. In other words, saving the CBDCs for the future will be non-existent. Lastly, CBDCs can be sector-based, meaning that it can be designated to only be spent in certain sectors or stores. For example, once the 15-minute smart cities have all been created, and they are being created already, CBDCs will only work in your 15-minute city. If you try to go elsewhere for a trip or a holiday, you will find that your CBDCs may not work. The tyrannical limitations of said CBDC. Thus, CBDCs present the danger of the New World Order powers micromanaging people's lives right down to the food they eat, the places they travel to, and the activities in which they are allowed to engage. Even more, they can turn off people's CBDCs like a light switch or deny access if people do not comply with the government, no matter how much they have. Thus, They will be used as a version of social credit score to focus citizens into complying with the wishes of the government. This is a reward-punishment system based on your social interactions and standing. Once mass adoption begins, the rulers are going to sell it to the public as something great, just as they did with the you-know-what, and sadly, many will be lured into this slavery trap. The CBDC and the MOTB. When it comes to the future MOTB, a future type of CBDC could very well be the one world currency that is integrated into a microchip that can be placed on the hand or forehead as the scripture states. As no one will be able to hold an official job without the MOTB chip, it's possible that the New World Order will assign tasks as well to the human body via the chip that is connected to AI, based on the type of job the person has, and then monitor the human body activity associated with said task. In other words, humans who take the mark/chip will be connected to servers and AI to receive software updates and tasks like your phone and computer do today. The chip will be able to monitor and sense body activity of the user. The blockchain CBDC payment system integrated to the chip of the user will then verify the body activity if it satisfies the conditions set by the system of the employer. Once verified, the CBD system will compensate CBDCs to the user's chip as payment for their labor. Thus, the CBDC is laying the framework for the money payment system of the future MOTB. Conclusion. In the New World Order, no employer, company, or business will be legal without a high ESG or environmental sustainable governance score based on the UN 2030 agenda and CBDC-only payment systems. Thus, people will only be able to work at organizations that meet these requirements. The world has been warned over and over again about the dangers of evil technological advancements, but it has not slowed down. The occult technocrats and financial elites are engineering society into a transhumanist and cashless society that will affect everyone regardless of your you-know-what status. As always, when citizens finally wake up to what has happened, it will be too late to do anything about it. The CBDC will be rolled out slowly over time, but in the meantime, you must reject this at all costs and warn others not to partake in it. This is key for someone like me who's already blocked off of using Google services. Will I be blacklisted? Will you be CBDC blacklisted? In the future, cash will be eliminated and the CBDC will be the only required way to buy and sell goods and services. If you are a good citizen with a good social credit score and comply with the rules of the tyrannical government like an obedient slave, then you may use the CBDC to live. Otherwise, you will be CBDC blacklisted worldwide instantly, effectively cutting you off from society. Groups of people that will most likely be blacklisted are, and not limited to, anti-microchippers, anti-jabolers, climate change deniers, Christians, and, you guessed it, conspiracy theorists, etc. So, will you be CBDC blacklisted? I know I will be. And last but not least, remember, when the internet is down, you can rely on cash. Cash is king. So make sure you're warning people, make sure you're being updated, make sure you're understanding the ramifications of what these technological advancements are actually up to. Be informed and stand up for your rights. And I will see you guys after this song. This is the producer's choice, so bump along with us. And thanks for tuning in.
when you think about when you think about love, think about me. Think about me. So when you think about
song to get us going here. And that was Fallberg with Whitehall. Thank you for tuning in. It's now 8:19 in the Central Standard Time, and I am RJ Shine. Let's get into some of the news this morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys are ready to get into some of this content. Let me make sure I've got everything lined up. We've had quite a go this morning, but we do not give up on this team. We create content, and we're going to put it out no matter what. Thank you for tuning in and staying with us. We're going to start off with this bird. Just like this bird, it found a way. It made a nest inside of a hanging lights. Look at this. Look at this bird. Hilarious. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. Also, make sure you tune in tonight on the Awake Souls YouTube channel, as we're going to be getting into Flat Earth Fridays. We're going to be covering some interesting stuff about how you live in a virtual reality. See this one here. We got a couple interesting clips before we get into the news. Look at this art. So one of the things that I've noticed that really helps with making three-dimensional graphic art is having a large border. This is the key. When you create these borders, that's how you're able to make the image come out of the screen. Check this out. I guess AI made this. It's a big push for, computer programming. It's pretty funny. We'll cover it. We'll document it. I thought that was interesting. See how it comes out only to the edges of the borders, what I wanted to point out. Interesting. Cool art. We like three-dimensional graphics. We like art. That's what we're all about here. Brand new music and brand new art. Now, I would love to try one of these flying machines too. I don't know if you guys have seen this. They're getting pretty good with this technology. I do have to state they are. This guy's effortlessly able to just fly off into the sky and fast too. These things fly so fast. Amazing, right? Good morning, everybody. Come on, let's get into some news. We got so much to cover. I'm glad you stuck around here. It says here, it won't happen. Or wait, let's start off with reading this one here. It says, NASA warns of an internet apocalypse that could disable the internet for months. All right, and then up here, this person wrote here, not a globe. It says it won't happen because the internet is our digital prison. AI is Big Brother. They know who's saying what. Without it, we would be meeting in communities and they wouldn't know what we were planning. Absolutely true. But they are talking about shutting the power off. This is something that we're seeing. We're hearing it promoted. And we do want to talk about what do we do if the power grid goes down, right? Having a plan is super ideal, right? You need to make a plan and always have backups and be prepared. Let's take a look at what a little bit of they're saying here. First 2 hours, shelter in place. For most of y'all, the safest option will be to prepare your home to shelter in place. Locate all family members and check for any injuries. Establish communication methods and discuss a plan briefly. If a family member is missing from a plan for how to retrieve them safely, always discuss a plan for when traveling far from home or on how you're going to return. So having a plan, making sure that you're prepared for when the power goes out. There's a couple of other things here that I wanted to point out. It's freezing on me a little bit, but we'll keep going. Just key always to, so day one, once the first steps are completed, take time to check in with any neighbors or community. Your community is vital to your survival. Try to establish communication and gather information about what event occurred and how long the grid may be down. These are key things that we want to continue to talk about because we don't know if the grid could go down, right? Plan and prepare perishable foods, it says. Utilize coolers if possible and refrain from opening freezers. They will remain colder much longer than your refrigerator. Long-term cooking storage might include canning, dehydrating, or smoking foods. Inventory on batteries and fuel supplies. If possible, set up a generator and solar batteries to be used as needed. Note, the generators are loud and smoke from a fire is an obvious sign of life. Be able to protect your dwelling if you are using these things. So if you have a generator and no one else does, you could see people trying to take it from you. If the outage appears to be long-term, it's time to act that way. Begin implementing a security plan and rotating watches at night. Your most dangerous predator is lazy and hungry man that has failed to prep, right? So make sure you board up your windows and secure unsecured entrances. These are things that we just, if something crazy goes down, we just constantly want people to be prepared, right? Having some water, shut off house utilities. This is the most important part here I want people to understand. If the power grid goes down and it's more than 1 or 2 days, it says you turn off water and gas at the meter and shut off sewage from the house and the clean out port. Create a waste plan for your trash and other debris. If vehicles are still working, empty all valuables and leave them unlocked in the driveway. Siphon out gas and store it out of sight. Leaving gas cap out of the vehicle open to deter vehicles. Leave it open so that people will think that someone's already stolen your gas. Disconnect battery and store inside garage or other interior buildings. As an EMP, we don't believe in EMPs. We'll stick that. So one of the interesting things that was pointed out in this is to fill up your bathtubs. First, bleach and clean your bathtubs and sinks. Plug them and fill them up with as much fresh water as possible. If power outage takes place and you're not able to use city water that could be contaminated, we want people to have as much drinking water as possible because that's really what we need to survive. So let's be prepared. Let's make a plan and let's have generators, bottles of water, non-perishable foods, and be ready. We don't know what's going on, so we're just trying to be as prepared as we possibly can, right? So let's continue on with the news of the morning. Thank you for tuning in. It is Friday, June 30th. If you can believe it, we are so close to July. Check this out. Tonight we're going to be going over flat Earth. This one says the U-2 supply plane is at 70,000 feet. And yes, there's no curvature. Look at how flat this looks. Look at this. The U-2 plane, still the best high altitude plane that has been created. And when these pilots go up with a rectilinear lens, that's not with a fisheye lens, what we find is that the horizon is still level and flat, right? Now, the higher in altitude you rise, the lower down, the larger field of view that you'll have, and the greater angle you will have to the horizon. your vanishing point. But as you can see, this U-2 plane is probably 40, 45, 55,000 feet above the surface of the Earth, and it's still flat. Fortunately, if you lived on a sphere, the higher you went in elevation, the greater the curvature would actually be. This is just what is. This is how we model it. This is exactly what we should expect to see in reality. Have you guys ever seen an iceberg flip upside down? Check this out. It's very rare, but it does happen. It does. Producer sent this in. I think it would freak me out. I mean, wow. There's a lot of weight. A lot of water moves around. It's incredible. Flipped. The color, I bet you that would make great ice. Make great ice. I had a friend who lived in Newfoundland, and he told me that they used to use the ice from icebergs. They were the best. It lasted forever, he would say. Moving on from that one, we'll check out our next news article of the morning. This one says, Twitter backed into a corner now by a meeting with the EU Commissioner and CEO, or is it really the ADL? It says EU warns Twitter to beef up content moderation as new rules loom. And I want to say that the producer sent in at least 150 different articles this week, and I would say 30 of them were taken down. They were gone when I went to put them into the program. They were removed due to these new laws. So we're going to see a tighter and tighter sweeping censorship coming, but we're trying to stay ahead of it. We're going to do everything we can to still get you informed and bring out the news. Have you been paying attention what's going on in France? Look at this. This is crazy. What are they shooting? Why are the people and the cops shooting fireworks at each other? Right? Don't be fooled by this. This is all staged. All these protests are all purposely designed to cause a problem reaction solution. They want more military. They want more guards. They want to take away more freedoms. They want you stuck in 15-minute cities. And the way they're going to do that is through rebellion. Right? So don't be fooled. You can see all the staged vehicles here. All these vehicles here are the people that brought in these fireworks and said operations and what they're doing. This is how the CIA, FBA, and NSA, all the different companies and organizations, this is what they do. So we're going to continue to cover it. Don't be fooled by the uprisings in France. You even have vehicles being burned to the ground, all types of stuff. This is all controlled. This is all totally staged. And like I had said, the key here is problem reaction solution. Don't be fooled by it. Don't be pulled into the psyop. Keep your head above it. This one is crazy. My former home city here, Toronto, currently ranks #1 in the world for the worst air quality. So what people don't understand is that the city of Toronto was actually built in a bowl. Okay, around it, the escarpment, Niagara, there's a bunch of different areas in Hamilton and all the way around northern Markham area, all around the city of Toronto is raised. And Toronto is closer to sea level. It's in a bowl. So yes, smog and other types of things do accumulate there due to the high. It's about 8 million or so mega population. It's a large mega city. But we do have reports now from YD and other citizens that live in southern Ontario that the wildfire smoke has made it to them. So unfortunately, they've got to learn how to deal with that for a little while. You know, we've all had camp smoke fire, and we know we've gotten through it. So try not to be too frustrated and keep your head up. Stay indoors for a little while and still try to enjoy the best of the day that you can. Here we go. Breaking. JP Morgan board member who served on Obama's intelligence advisory board dies following the Epstein settlement. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Continuing that article, we've got a follow-up to that. It says here, an Epstein Island story in 3 parts told by CNN. JP Morgan fined $4 million for deleting 47, not 33 million, but 47 million emails. JP Morgan reaches $29 million in settlement for Epstein's victims, and JP Morgan's board of directors dies in a car crash. There it is. If you can believe it, this is what's taken place. Was he in a Tesla? That is my question for you on the other side of the screen. Continuing on, yes, flat Earth is a psyop, right? The Earth definitely is flat, but a group called the Flat Earth Society was way ahead of it. They knew that the truth of the Flat Earth was going to get out because the drones and P1000s and other types of devices were allowing us to now film and view our reality in such a way that we could see from higher vantage points. And they knew that people would figure out that the Earth, yes, is flat. So what they did was they brought out a debunkable model. That is your AE map model with the sun and the moon doing circles above your head, which is absolutely against all recordable, observable evidences. The sun rises and sets. Tonight, we will go a little bit more into detail in this. But yes, Flat Earth is a psyop created by the CIA, but not the truth of it. The fake Flat Earth was the CIA psyop to tie the scriptures into a domed circle AE map and model. Easily debunked, because the AE map and model is really just a squished globe projection so that less intelligent audience could understand the land masses in an easier orientation. It's basically beginner's level cartography. But yes, Flat Earth is real, but it is a CIA psyop. So continue to be informed about that. Moving on from that one, we'll do a few more and then we'll do another. So we got so many great songs today. Biden, here we go with more crazy stuff. Biden says here, we'll let him say it. Check this out.
Long said, and I mean this, I was on the Tibetan Plateau with Xi Jinping. I traveled 17,000 miles with him. I've spoken with him more than any other head of state because it started when I was vice president. And President Hu was the president, and he was the vice president. We knew he was going to be successful. It was inappropriate for Barack to spend that time with him, but I spent a lot of time with him. I met alone with him, just he and I, and a simultaneous interpreter 68 times, 68 hours, 68 times, more than 68 hours. By the way, I turned in all my notes.
All my notes. So he continues to act as if he's quid pro quoing his way through everything. It is crazy. It is crazy the stuff that Biden's been saying lately. And we'll have more on the Biden gaps. Or, I purposely believe that he is purposely saying these things. This is the script. His script has been to act like an idiot and to say things that are absolutely illegal, and to do it publicly as they mock the public through him. They're mocking the entire United States of America. Moving on, look at this psyop. They're trying to psyop, I guess, Eastern kids into believing that space is real. This is the newest astronaut that's up in outer space. And here he is, peace and mercy and blessings. They're trying to use toys. And, what I would want to point out is I don't believe any of this stuff here is rated for the actual how do I say it, anti-pressure systems of outer space, the higher levels of our atmosphere. As we go underwater, pressure pushes down. The same amount of pressure pulls apart as we go up. And I don't believe any of this stuff is rated. But yes, they are still continuing to psyop the kids. Now they've got Muslims on the ISS psyoping the kids. Here you can see the solar panels, but not reflecting solar light. They're in shade, clearly when they're in the sun side of the Earth. Another fake CGI video from NASA. Moving on from that one, a couple more left here. Have you guys seen this? This we've got now, child trafficking. So now we're going to get into one of the new movies that's going to be released here. And I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've heard it. Let's get the background music off. Let's play this trailer. July.
How'd that make you feel? Giving a child his freedom.
Felt good.
You have been at this for 12 years.
My country, 'tis of thee.
Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale.
To point out,
It's the fastest growing
Angel
international
Studios.
crime network that the world has ever seen.
For Homeland Security, we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put
So it was mentioned here, this is Angel Studios. This is the same studio company that brought you the TV show Chosen. That was actually, they ran campaigns where they paid it forward. So the entire Chosen series was GoFunded. And then they actually sold that production as well to Angel Studios.
those pieces back together.
Land of the Pilgrim's
And yet somehow you have failed to bring me one real-world lead.
So again, I don't know if you guys want to check this movie out. What was the title again? You can do your research. If you look for Angel Studios, you'll be able to follow and find this content for yourself. Now, my question is, these actors who have clearly sold their souls to Azazel, are they really going to bring any truth? Or is this just another one of those rabbit holes to trap people into endless loops of nonsense? I'll leave that up for you to decide. We'll move on with the news of the morning. We still got lots to get into here. It says China is significantly investing in what? Nuclear power? China has 55 operational nuclear power plants. Well, the rest of the realm is shutting their nuclear power plants off, which are steam boiling plants. Currently, 22 plants are still being constructed. Over 70 more plants are in the planning stages. China plans to construct 30 nuclear reactors in the Belt and Road Initiative. This is something that we will need to look into moving forward. Do you know what the Belt Initiative Road is? Have you studied this? Do you know exactly what's going on? We will look into that more in the future here. It says the country plans at least 150 new reactors in the next 15 years, more than the rest of the world has built in the past 35. So as everybody else is being told you can't use nuclear power, China absolutely going full steam ahead, pun intended. Thank you for tuning in. This one here, meet WEF super satanic super villain Larry Fink. Not to be confused with Adam Fink, this is Larry Fink. He's known for using behavioral psychology to force people to adapt homo-Marxism. He's the inventor of, you heard us talk about it this morning, the ESG score, which he now calls collective capitalism. I'd place bets that the room he's sitting in, she says, smells like sulfur. Thanks, Liz. I am very allergic to sulfur. Let's look a little bit more into Larry Fink. 1 second. Excuse me. Whew. Lawrence Douglas Fink. It says here he's the current chairman and CEO of BlackRock. Fink was born November 2nd, and he grew up one of 3 children. Excuse me. Interestingly enough, let's see what Larry Fink has to say. Larry Fink, quote, ashamed to be a part of the ESG political debate. Why it matters. How the world's largest asset manager frames its investment approach is a leading indicator for the market. BlackRock manages $9.2 trillion. That's a lot of money. $9.2 trillion. So it goes on to state here, Fink's latest statement is sure to generate plenty of controversy. BlackRock's bullish outlook on responsible environmental, social, and governance investing is being blasted by conservatives as woke capitalism. And, get this, has drawn boycotts in Florida and Texas. So the only thing that these people are actually afraid of is boycotts. They do not want you to boycott. The whole reason they are moving to the CBD system is so that you can't boycott, so that the companies that they want to make the money get the money. That's it. You won't be able to buy money anywhere else. Sorry about that. Continuing on down here, it says, yes, but when pressed on the statement later in conversation, Fink backtracked. He went on to state, I never said I was ashamed, he said. Incorrectly, I'm not ashamed. I do believe in conscientious capitalism. I'm not going to use the word ESG because it's being misused by the far left and the far right, he added. So yes, it's true. Larry Fink, this is the creator of the environmental social governance system, right? We're going to be continuing to call it out. Go figure. He's another one of those you cannot name, and moving ahead with their totalitarian, tyrannical systems. But we're going to call it out. We want you informed. Do you know that Freemasonry is identical as Satanism? Maybe you didn't know. Let's check it out. Masonry, Order of the Eastern Star, which is generally the female fraternity of the Freemasons, and the Masonic Order of Freemasons. We got here on this side the Sigil of Lucifer, or the Church of Satan Sigil, or Baphomet. The highest degree of this side, go figure, is called MAGA, M-A-G-A. Not to be confused, it is the movement that Trump's pushing. Check this out. Let's see the similarities here. We got Freemasonry. Ceremony performed involving a noose placed around the neck of the initiate and a blade pressed up against their chest. Witchcraft. Ceremony involving a noose placed around the neck of the initiate and a blade pressed up against their chest. The initiate bows in front of a worshipful master, and the words are spoken, going from dark to light. The initiate, on the witchcraft side, bows in front of a high priest or priestess, and words are spoken, one coming from dark to light. And on the last but not least of the Freemasonry side, at the end of every ceremony, the words spoken are smote it be, and at the end of every ritual that the witchcraft side does, the words spoken are smote it be. So, do you think Freemasonry is the same as witchcraft? I do, and I hope you're informed on that now. And then you can see the symbology and the things that they put into their art and their painting. This is absolutely the truth here. This is what they work for. They want power, they want fame, they want riches, they want big houses, they want the good seats at the hockey game. This is what it's all about, and this is what we're going to continue to expose here on The Rise and Grind. I'm going to go to a song break. The time is now 8:42 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, and I really hope you're not late for work. I will be back after this.
It's another Friday night in a city. Everything feels just right, 'cause you are with me. You got my sweatshirt on. Yeah, you can have all that you want. It's true. Somehow you stop the silence in my mind. You make me feel so whole, as if you like the sky. With all your vibrance, make it colorful, you make it colorful, yeah, yeah. Oh, hold on, oh, hold on. Whenever life gets tough, you know I won't let go. Oh, hold on, oh, hold on. Whenever you get stuck, you know I won't let go of you right now, 'cause I need you. Every word I say, see through, yeah, I'll keep holding on to you, 'cause you are all I want, it's true. Oh, oh. Somehow you stop the silence in my mind. You make me feel so whole, as if you like the sky. With all your vibrance, you make it colorful, you make it colorful, yeah. Oh, hold on, oh, hold on. Whenever life gets tough, you know I won't let go. Oh, hold on, oh, hold on. Whenever you get stuck, you know I won't let go. You know I won't let go. You know I won't let go. You know I hold on, hold on, hold on to you, to you. You know I hold on, hold on, hold on to you, to you. You know I hold on, hold on, hold on to you, to you. You know I hold on, hold on, hold on to you. Oh, hold on, oh, hold on. Whenever life gets tough, you know I won't let go. Oh, hold on, yeah, oh, hold on. Whenever you get stuck, you know I won't let go. Oh, hold on, oh, hold on. Whenever life gets tough, you know I won't let go. Oh, hold on.
that brand new one was by Kalax with Hold On. Let's get back into the news of the morning. Thank you for tuning in. And if you guys haven't seen, this is quite interesting. Simpsons, they don't only, cover everything else, they also cover SpaceX and the Elon Musk hoax. Let's check this clip out. Thank you for tuning in.
Incorporated. Our mission is to help humanity make the next big leap.
That's so fascinating. When did you incorporate?
We're preparing to launch the first privately funded manned mission to Mars.
You're going to Mars? That's incredible!
Yes. How do you plan to solve the problem of eyeball explosion when you take off your space helmet?
You leave your helmet on.
These guys seem legit.
This video will explain our revolutionary vision.
Human beings are explorers. It's what we do. It's who we are. But since our world holds no more secrets, we must journey to Mars. Government agencies like NASA say it will be decades before we set foot on the Red Planet. At Exploration Incorporated, we're working hard to establish a human settlement on Mars 10 years from today. Soon, a select group of colonists will leave Earth forever and become the first residents of another world. Will you be one of them? Exploration Incorporated. Never stop exploring.
What about those Mars nutjobs? Who wants to take a one-way trip to a barren, lifeless rock?
Yeah, in a couple years we'll have a perfectly good, barren, lifeless rock right here.
This guy gets it.
Abort launch!
That's a negative.
I think you're forgetting the motto of Blue Bronco. Let's do this thing.
12, 11.
This is not happening. Do you know how to run the dishwasher?
Of course not! Maybe we can use paper plates!
Where the hell do we get those? Marge, no!
3, 2, 1. Ignition.
It's not a real rocket. It's the outside of a real rock.
We did plan to build a real rocket.
And that's one thing they can never take away from us.
That plan is our legacy.
Then why did you move up the launch if you knew it was fake?
To inspire the next generation.
And to provide a distraction.
Well, I mean, they couldn't have done it any better. They're completely exposing the fact that it's fake. And then they're never going to go to outer space. They do tell the truth if you pay attention. That was a funny clip from The Simpsons here. Moving on, did you know that Elon Musk, UFC legend George St. Pierre, to train Elon Musk for his cage fight with Mark Zuckerberg? So this is actually true here. There is a screenshot. We got, I'm a huge fan of yours, and it would be an absolute honor to help you and be your training partner for the challenge against Zuckerberg. And we got Musk. Okay, let's do it. So George St. Pierre is one of the greatest fighters of all time. And if he's training Musk, there is a very good chance that Musk will beat Zuckerberg. He does have him in size. He's a bit older. So, all this hoopla, it might be interesting. Maybe they actually do get in a cage and fight. But what I think is they're definitely using this for publicity. But it is pretty funny. Elon is a smart guy if he does hire George St. Pierre to train him. Moving on from that one, we got so much to get into. This one says the New York skies again set to darken with smoke from the Canadian wildfires. So be prepared. They are raging in southern Ontario. They are making their way back down south. So everybody be prepared for the smoke in the sky. We're going to continue to cover that as it happens. Moving on that, Ukraine to become the world's first 100% cashless country and is ready to abandon all cash payments. So Ukraine is being used for all of this satanic New World Order tyrannical rollouts. They're taking all this fake money, printing up money. Everything's fake. The war is not real. It's an absolute hoax. But yes, Ukraine set to become the world's first 100% cashless country and the rest to follow suit. Great one sending from the producer there. So let's talk about the Wagner mercenaries. So this is the story that we got last week out of Russia. The Wagner mercenaries were preparing to march on Moscow and have vowed to take Russian capital and install a new president. They're going to take Putin out. Moscow is currently in lockdown with roadblocks. So they set up road blockades and you can't pass without, giving your papers. A message posted on the Wagner Group Telegram stated, Putin made the wrong choice. All the worse for him. Soon we will have a new president. And the mercenaries have taken the southern city of Rostov and are preparing to fully take the city of Voronezh, as Russian security source has said the group have already captured the city's military installations. So we have it here. They're showing the onslaught of the Wagner group coming up from the south, and this is the main propaganda that took place last week. You had these types of things coming out showing the supposed the Wagner mercenaries doing their show, running up the streets, being filmed with their so-called military equipment on flatbeds. Right? This is what we were getting in the American news. This is the supposed Russian convoy, the Wagner group, that's going to take over Russia. So we get these types of stories that were coming out. Excuse me. Then we got Elon Musk covering it. It says how girls sleep, how boys sleep. They don't, it says. The boys are monitoring the situation with the Wagner group. So we've got the everybody pushing the different Wagner group stories. Even Elon Musk is jumping on it to try to get views and accolades. We even have Uganda saying they're going to send soldiers to Moscow to defend Putin, right? So we got this guy sending soldiers from Uganda, right? Crazy, but yeah, that's what they're saying. And we've got even more. We got breaking. Nobody else but other than Benjamin Netanyahu says he'll hold a situational assessment today amid a Wagner successful coup. I don't think it was successful, but the psyop that they wanted to run might have been. We'll have to wait to see how that goes. Checkpoints, like I had said, boom, Hegelian dialectic. They want to have more checkpoints. They want to take out their enemies. Anytime you see a staged coup running out of these countries, they're testing loyalty of different members of said groups. There are multiple agendas when these psyops are being run. You always have to look. And what story are they trying to hide from is the other key thing that we want to point out. We've got Yevgeny Prigozhin, the former prisoner cook, now mercenary, is leading the CIA operation behind the attempted so-called coup of Putin. Here he is with Bush, this Prigozhin guy, who is also, if you believe it, tiny hat wearing, you know what, the tribe we're not allowed to talk about, of course. Moving on from that, so the Yevgeny group is the mercenary group, and it says here, U.S. President Joe Biden discussed the situation in Russia, but with Macron on phone, and the Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. So again, making Biden look like an absolute idiot in all the different things that he does. They never fail to make him look like an idiot, and we'll continue to explain. A big mess in Russia, says the Donald, but be careful what you wish for. Next, it may be far worse. So I don't know what Donald's trying to forecast, but even he got in on this whole Wagner coup. Right? Even Trump's got to talk about it. So the first result of Prigozhin's rebellion, the West saw massive support for Putin. At the moment, it is too early to talk about the end of the military rebellion or the action of the Russian IPSO, but the first results can be summarized as such. The whole country came out in support of Putin. Such a unity of the people probably hasn't been existed since 2014. Indirectly, Russia's opponents also lined up in support of Putin. If you can believe it or not, who are really shocked by what's happening. The expected civil war in the West has not started in Russia. Russians stubbornly do not want to shoot each other. Well, go figure, most people in the realm aren't going to want to kill their fellow citizens. Russia has shown that in addition to the forces participating in the SMO, it also has enormous potential, among which, by the way, the PMC Wagner is the front line in the SMO zone remains stable. There is no unrest. The army trusts in Putin. So the coup did not work, right? So what did they actually do in this coup? What were the takeaways of the coup? Don't worry, people. Putin's going to save us all from the New World Order. All right, here he is. Does this look like somebody that's going to save you? All these different meetings where you see Putin. Who's this here? Kissinger? Who's this? The Pope? All right, who are these guys with the tiny but larger hats? Got them all over here. He's got it doing the devil horns, doing the 666. Got him with the Star of Remfram. So Putin is not who you think he is. If you think he's some freedom fighter, you have got to start doing your research, but this is actually what took place. The streets that these Wagner mercenaries were going up and down have just been absolutely decimated and destroyed. You can't drive tanks on asphalt. It just destroys the city streets. So it looks like this was a make-work program so that they could rebuild the roads here in Russia, because they've just absolutely destroyed them everywhere that they've taken these tanks. Absolutely ridiculous. So what we got here, we all just witnessed firsthand billions of people get suckered by, yes, another psyop. In short, the masses just brought a world-class sleight of hand trick, stock and barrel. Next time, please, people, think critically. Think for yourself and don't be a sucker. Always employ a 48 to 72 hour rule. The media is definitely not our friend, and they are not on our side. If you don't know what a psychological operation is, it's operations to convey selected information and indicators to audiences to influence their motives and objective reasoning, and ultimately the behavior of governments, organizations, groups, and large foreign powers. That's why they run their psyops. But the power is you take back by not falling for their dis, and malinformation. That's how you fight back and expose it wherever you can. Moving on from the Prigozhin Wagner nonsense, study here shows 130 countries exploring the CBDC. Not 100, now we're up to 130. And I bet you since this article was released, it's probably up to 140 now. So we're going to continue to see the world lockstep, in hand, move towards the new cashless society. Trump's executive deal, if you haven't heard, with Truth Social Media expired early in June. It's just a matter of time before we see Trump back on Twitter with Elonald, they say. Trump plots Twitter return. We'll be watching that after he went on and said he wasn't going to come back to Twitter. Now he's saying that he is. So we'll continue to monitor that on the team. Lab-grown chicken meat. Have you heard? Do you know what's going on? Are you going to eat this? I absolutely will not.
The age of lab-grown meat has arrived in this country. The Agriculture Department just approved 2 California companies to sell chicken grown in steel tanks using cells that come from an animal egg or a special bank of stored cells. The cell-cultivated chicken will first be available at a restaurant in San Francisco and another one in Washington, D.C., owned by famed chef Jose Andres, before hitting stores.
I'm terrified. I am not going to eat lab-grown meat, and I don't want you to eat lab-grown meat either. Eat real, fresh meat. Stay as far away from anything lab-grown as you can. Check this out. Brussels to allow installation of spyware on journalists' phones and laptops. I guess you're not allowed to report the news anymore without the New World Order spying on you. Pfizer Jabola batches in the EU were what? Placebos, say scientists. Can you believe that? Scientists have uncovered startling evidence that a substantial portion of the batches of the Pfizer-BioNTech Cerveza-19 Jabola deployed in the European Union may in fact have consisted of placebos. Who were they giving the real ones to? If the people in the EU Union were being given placebo ones. We had to cover that and document that as we move forward. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that. Now we've got Xi Jinping and Bill Gates meeting in Beijing. Check this out. Bill Gates is still at it. Why is Bill Gates? Who is this? Who appointed Bill Gates to be this world leader? As far as I know, he built corrupt software. Corrupt, horrible. If you're using Windows, there's absolutely something wrong with you. But here he is with Xi. Look at him, he's all happy. He is such a weirdo. These guys are so weird. I don't want anything to do with Bill Gates. I don't want any of his solutions. I don't want to eat his appeal food. Stay as far away from everything Bill Gates. His mosquitoes are causing havoc in Texas and Florida. His lab-grown meats now, it's just never going to end. These people need to be stopped. I don't know if I can say that loud enough. Continuing on, baseball-sized hail smashing into panels at 150 mile an hour destroys Scotts Bluff solar farm. Baseball-sized hail took out 5.2 megawatt solar farm in Nebraska on Friday as part of a giant supercell thunderhead that moved across the eastern Wyoming. Guess who's going to pay for the replacement of all these destroyed solar panels? Yes, the tax-paying society, the group of people that live in this area. And they probably weren't getting a reduction on their energy costs. No, the government takes this. So the government's going to have you fix their solar panels. What a stupid, stupid energy collection device when it can be destroyed by simple hail. Or when clouds or snow falls, again, you don't gain any power from these types of free energy types of systems. They're just horrible and no good. Moving on, this is a beautiful story. This one actually grabbed my heart when I saw it. There was a boy who had fallen down and stuck inside of a pipe. And look, what did it say here? A stunningly brave 13-year-old boy in Romania, he probably had some good mama liga, volunteered to be lowered headfirst deep inside a pipe to pull out another boy. Check this out. They're lowering him down head first. And there they go. He brought up the other boy. Look. Amazing. Hero. That's a hero. Little boy giving back to his parents. What a beautiful story. Right here, you have a real hero. Real hero. Not some fake New World Order fake. Real hero. Good job, son. Moving on from that, I thought that was a beautiful link to share here. How to pick the perfect watermelon. Do you know? Are you eating watermelon this summer? Let's check this out. How to pick the perfect watermelon. Elongated means watery, right? Uniform size and heavy. You want to get those ones. They're sweet, right? This one says good, better, and best. Looking for the different spots where you can have the shades, right? So again, this is a simple one to keep track of. You want to get the heavy and rounder watermelons. That's it. And they'll be sweeter. It's very simple. And we'll get into a song after this link here. Have you guys ever seen these huge, gigantic, what do they call this? Tridentia? This is the largest mussels or oysters or clams. Like, I would love to try to eat these things. I bet you they taste delicious, but they're huge. I've never seen a clam or an oyster that big. That is a monster. And I guess it does eat other water life as it tries to close down on the broom. Thank you for tuning in. It's now 9:03 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. I am RJ Shine, and I will see you guys after this song break. brand new hit there was by Echo Image, and the song was called Of Truth.
Some days just feel like shit to me.
And we are back into the news of the morning. Thank you for tuning in. 9:08 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, and I am RJ Shine. Today is June 30th. Let's get back into this. And again, we brought up earlier, be prepared for the smoke to be making it back into New Jersey and New York City and other neighboring areas. We are set to see more of the Canadian wildfire smoke making its way south. We are preparing people so that you are prepared ahead of it being there. If you're tuning in from that area, this one I'm going to leave in the chat. Something that you can research on your own time. It says here, the history of the Federal Reserve Cartel and the Freemasons and the House of Rothschild. Please make sure you click the link after the podcast that I've now left in the chat and do your own research into this, and you're going to find out how shockingly true the Freemasonry is tied to the House of the Rothschilds. Go figure. Something unusual, a large, huge windstorm and hailstorm that happened in Georgia. Look at the weather that's been going on. This has just been insane here in the United States. Here in Texas, all over the country, it has been insane. Be prepared, always have plans, have extra water on board. We just got to cover this. We want to let people know, wow, the weather has been insane. Is it judgments or are they doing something with the weather? Check out this tornado in Indiana as it just rages through these different homes. I mean, wow. This is crazy. I've never seen so many tornadoes. We've got sprites. We've had the most amount of northern lights that we've ever seen. The Schumann resonance has been off the scale. What is taking place in this realm? Amazing. Be prepared. Always be prepared. Don't be caught off guard and be safe. Always be prepared. Moving on from this, going back into the main topic of today, which I had to take out of the title, digital ID. The UK government has repeatedly said digital ID will not be compulsory, but then they go on to state, but access here to all services that are government, included benefits, companies, housing, environmental, renting, getting a job, or a driver's license, you're actually going to have the digital ID. So, is it compulsory? I think so. It's definitely compulsory, but they're talking out of both sides of their mouth like the government always do. Moving on from that one, a few more to get to, and then we'll do some more memes and some more music, and we'll get out of here. We've got Christina Lagarde talking about inflation due to what? She's saying climate change. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Climate change affects inflation, and inflation is the beast that all central bankers, whether they
You're the beast, Christine.
green jacket or not,
Green jacket or not.
want to tame and discipline. Number two, because it affects our balance sheets.
Climate change affects their balance sheets. Let's hear it again from the beast.
Climate change affects inflation, and inflation is the beast that all central bankers, whether they wear a green jacket or not, want to tame and discipline. Number two, because it affects our balance sheets. Whether it's a 3 trillion or a 7 trillion balance sheets, it is affected by climate change.
Climate change, That's all they're going to continue to promote, and they're going to continue to move on, and we're going to continue to cover it. Stay as far away from Christina Lagarde as you possibly can. Biden, listen to this one. He said, quote, I sold a lot of state secrets and a lot of very important things.
I was just thinking, anyway. Started off without you. And I sold a lot of state secrets and
he literally just said I sold a lot of state secrets.
Sold a lot of state secrets and I sold a lot of state secrets and a lot of very important things that we shared.
So, I mean, it's just continuing on the crazy train. Biden continuing going around saying he met with Xi 68 times, right? Now he's saying that he sold state secrets. I mean, it just never ends. Have you guys seen this crazy pilgrimage? So the Muslims are climbing Mount Arafat at the height of the Hajj. So as dawn breaks, hundreds of thousands are up at dawn to climb Saudi Arabia's Mount Arafat. On the third day of the Hajj pilgrimage, one of the 5 pillars of the Islamic faith. The mount is where Prophet Muhammad is said to have given his final sermon. Did you know about this celebration that they have? I can't express what I'm feeling. It's a great feeling. Thank God. I felt like my heart was about to stop when I was on the mountain. Thank God for everything. this year's Hajj could be the highest on record, with more than 2.5 million pilgrims expected. So what I want to tell you about this pilgrimage is it's actually a dedication to Abraham and Ishmael, right? Not Isaac, Ishmael, the other son of Abraham. And this is how they celebrate it. I can't see much wrong with it. I think it's great that they want to celebrate Ishmael and Abraham. And so the large turnout, the 2.5 million they're stating, is because due to the coronavirus, not very many people were able to travel to the pilgrimage. And now that they've lowered the, restrictions, more people are going to, travel back to Mount Arafat. I thought that was interesting to see how much faith those people really have. Breaking, it says the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a sweeping Republican-backed effort to oust state judges and administrators from long-standing roles over federal elections. So they're not changing anything. If people think they're going to be able to vote their way out of problems, you are completely mistaken. You are wrong. They are not going to change anything. It's all fixed. It's a selection, not an election process. Next article of the morning says here, interesting thoughts on using cash versus debit credit cards. Let's take a look at what this says here. It says here, I thought this was quite interesting. Why should we pay cash everywhere instead of a card? It says here, I have a $50 bill in my pocket, going to a restaurant and paying for dinner with it. The restaurant owner then uses the bill to pay for the laundry. The laundry owner then uses the bill to pay the barber. The barber will then use the bill for shopping. After an unlimited number of payments, it will still remain a $50 value, which has fulfilled its purpose to everyone who used it for payment, and the bank has jumped dry for every cash payment transaction made. But if I come to that same restaurant and pay digitally via card, the bank fees for my payment transaction charged to the seller are 3%, so around $1.50. And so will be the fee of $1.50 for each further payment transaction. For the owner, relaundry or payments of the owner or the laundry shop or the payments of the barber, etc. Therefore, after 30 transactions, the initial 50 will exist at only a $5 and the remaining 45 has become the property of the bank. Thanks to all of the digital transaction and fees. Use it or lose it, folks. So again, what this is pointing out is they've created usury everywhere you can go. So the bank says, give us your money, what you earn from your labor and your hard works, store with us, right? And then what the bank does is they use that money as leverage to get more money. So they're making interest off your money. And then when you try to digitally use the money, they charge you fees. So they add another usury tax on top of it. This is another reason why we want to stay with cash, why we don't want CBDC digital currency. This is a huge reason why. I thought this was a really good post. Moving on from that one, we are almost through the news of the morning. Breaking. Google, Facebook, Twitter, and other big tech companies colluded with government-funded third parties to censor Americans. How about that? People are actually starting to find out the truth of all the censorship that's taken place, and they are coming out and it is being revealed. So hopefully we'll have more articles moving forward of the actual turnaround on this. Now we've got Donald Trump appearing to talk about classified documents. Have you guys heard this story? This is what he's being indicted for again. Let's take a listen in here. Let's see what he has to say.
This is secret information. Look at this.
So it says the documents apparently refer to sensitive information about Iran.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the papers.
Did.
You recount the legal votes.
So for me, it sounds like the papers that the general was going on saying, we've got these papers, and he's saying we're going to attack Iran, this, that. Remember that I believe this is the same documents that Donald Trump is talking about having.
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out a. Yeah.
See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, but this is
classified. Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So he was talking about having classified documents to somebody else. Apparently that's illegal, right? Trump is facing 37 federal charges over his handling of the classified documents. He's previously said the files are in his possession were declassified. And in that last statement, he said they weren't. He's pleaded not guilty for this hoax shenanigan nonsense, and we'll continue to cover it. They're trying to indict and arrest Trump every single day, and we think it's hilarious. It's the same thing they're doing with Netanyahu over in Israel. Moving on to the most disgusting news of the morning, let's listen to Justin Trudeau talk about true things and freedom. Look at this.
To see hateful rhetoric on the rise, we're seeing that angry, hateful rhetoric rise.
And his lisp is getting worse.
On our continent, particularly targeting trans people. Trans people are among the most vulnerable people in the 2S LGBTQI+ community, facing high rates of violence and suicide.
And so, yeah, let's talk about the suicide rate of the people that are transgender. It's super high. After they do these things due to mental instabilities, they actually do take their lives, Justin, and you're actually propelling that.
Far-right political actors are trying to outdo themselves with the types of cruelty and isolation they can inflict on these already vulnerable people. Right now, trans kids in New Brunswick are being told they don't have the right to be their true selves, that they need to ask permission.
I mean, he's talking about children wanting to have sex changes without their parents' permission. Listen to this.
Well, trans kids need to feel safe, not targeted by politicians. We have to stand against this. We have to stand up for the freedoms we believe in and continue our work of letting love be louder than hate.
Wow. Unbelievable. Look at him. He's using this as a political talking point while stating that he's not using this as a political talking point.
Canada is committed to protecting the human rights of 2S LGBTQI+ people at home and abroad, because Canada and Canadians stand for openness, for respect, for dignity, and most of all, for freedom.
And that's why, due to his new bill that they've passed, Canadian news is being taken out of Google, Facebook, and Twitter. They're withholding it. So not only are they going as far away from the statement of freedom, they're absolutely censoring all the different types of news and information that's being, shared worldwide. So they are absolutely moving in the wrong direction. Anti-freedom is all we're seeing out of the Canadian industries here. Now moving on. Did you know that Tom Cruise divorced all 3 of his ex-wives? They're stating he is not a Scientologist. That's fake. They're saying that he's one of the Illuminati bloodline families. Apparently, he's divorced 3 different wives, all when they turned 33 years of age. Go figure that. Each of them, it says, and each lasted, each wife was 11 years younger than the last. I mean, what is going on with these crazy Scientologists or New World Order agents? I don't know, but Tom Cruise is definitely a weird one. I did not know that about his wives. What is RFK doing at the same table with Jeffrey Epstein? Why don't people want to talk about this? All the people that are promoting RFK. He's literally sitting here with Epstein. What is going on here? Why is he with Epstein? Why are these same criminals that are supposedly fighting against the trafficking and all this and that when they literally are the people doing it? Right? It's time we wake up and see things for the way that they really are. And here he is wanting to arrest people that don't go along with climate change. Listen for yourself. Clown world as it buffers. Thank you for tuning in. 9:21 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, Friday, June 30th. What? Oh, I have to refresh it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want you to hear this. We just saw him at a table with Epstein. Right?
Do I think they should be in jail? I think they should be enjoying. I think they should be enjoying caught at The Hague with all the other war criminals.
Politicians, people who deny, who express skepticism.
They're selling out the public trust. And, I think those guys who are doing the Koch brothers bidding and who are against all the evidence of the rational mind are saying that global warming doesn't exist, that they are contemptible human beings, and that, I wish that there were a law you could punish them under.
I guess I'm a little disappointed.
So there you go. I mean, he literally stated that People that deny climate change, global warming, we don't live on a globe, but it's not warming. We have 4 seasons in the year. It gets hotter and colder every year. He wants you to be put into jail. And not only that, but he's yoked up also known friends literally sitting at the table having dinner and spending time with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, it just never goes away. These people, it just constantly, they need to be brought up here. Time Magazine's cover story of climate change setting continents on fire. Have you seen this? Climate is everything, they say here on Time, and they've got the whole world burning. And yes, if you've looked at the scriptures, a third of the earth is going to burn up. So stay tuned in. We'll be covering that on Sunday on the Awake Souls YouTube channel. Who believes this? Here we go. Now they've got apparently robots going to the Ukraine to support them for this World War III. Like, this is not real. This is fake CGI, but people out there probably do believe this. It's a robot, supposedly real, right? It's absolutely not real. If you look closer, you'll see glitches, and the person that's actually really there glitches in, and they show it in certain clips. But I thought that was pretty funny, trying to act like there's robots walking around in the Ukraine here. And last but not least, we'll turn this down. Have you seen they've recovered? I don't know how. So they were able to get something down to the bottom of the ocean, something that is impossible to do. Now they're recovering the debris from the Titan. Supposedly, these are parts of the Titan being offloaded here. Sad story, you know, the wreckage. So obviously they had a destroyed Titan. Now here they've got the same electrician apparently as NASA. You haven't seen her. This is supposedly the sub, right? It's not crushed. They got it back. It's amazing to see what they're actually coming out with. And the last but not least of the morning, here we go. 12 laws of karma. Check this out, okay? Number 1, the great law, they call it. Whatever we put into the realm will come back to us. Law number 2 and 3, it says here the law of creation. Life does not happen by itself. We need to make it happen. Number 3, the law of humility. One must accept something in order to change it. Number 4, the law of growth. When we change ourselves, our lives follow suit and change too. Number 5, the law of responsibility. We must take responsibility for what is in our lives. Number 6, the law of connection. The past, present, and future are all connected. Law number 7, the law of focus. We cannot think of 2 different things at the same time, so make sure you're focusing on one thing at a time. Number 8, the law of giving and hospitality. Our behavior should match our thoughts and actions. Law number 9, the law of here and now. How? We cannot be present if we are looking backwards. We have to be in the present moment always. Number 10, the law of change. History repeats itself until we learn from it and change our path. Number 11, the law of patience and reward. The most valuable rewards require persistence. Never give up. Number 12, the law of significance and inspiration. Rewards are a result of the energy and effort we put into something. Are you putting the effort in? Are you putting the energy in? Are you reaping the rewards or bearing the fruit of your hard work? So make sure you keep these 12 laws fresh in your mind, stay in the moment, work hard, and never, ever give up. And I will see you guys for some memes after this song. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm killing us slowly. Catch me, 'cause I know I'm falling slowly. I burn if it meant you'd love me. Feels like I'll never learn in this life, always taking turns. I gave everything I had, didn't listen 'cause it's not what you asked. What will it take to forgive the lies? There's no hope inside your eyes, and now I sit and question why I'm killing us slowly. Catch me, 'cause I know I'm falling slowly. I burn if it meant to love me. You just say all the night. free. I tried to get through to you, didn't listen 'cause it's not what you do. What will it take to forgive the lies? There's no hope inside your eyes, and now I sit and question why I'm killing us slowly. Catch me 'cause I know I'm falling slowly. I burn if it meant to love me. You just say all the nights that have made you cry. I fucked up, it's too late to get it right. No matter what you choose to believe, I still burn if it meant to love me. How can I fix what I don't know's wrong? Maybe you'll find I should let this go. What if I miss you? You know I'm not as strong. I'm killing us slowly. Catch me 'cause I know I'm falling slowly. I burn if it meant you love me slowly. Catch me 'cause I know I'm falling slowly. I burn if it meant to love me. You just say all the nights that have made you cry. I fucked up, it's too late to get it right. No matter what you choose to believe, I still burn if it meant to love me. I'd burn if it meant to love me. I'd burn if it meant to love me. You know that I burn. You know that I burn. You know that I burn. You know that I burn.
And that brand new one was The World Alive with Slow Burn. And let's get back into some memes of the morning. Thank you for tuning in. I am RJ Shine, and it is Friday, June 30th. And they say, you got this, Ron. Push on through. Here's me pushing through. I'm pushing through no matter what. We don't give up here on the Rise and Grind. We do what has to be done. Even if we have to start 30 times in a row, we'll get the podcast out. Thank you for tuning in. Come on, let's look at some of these memes. Let me get the background music going while you patiently wait. Thank you, everyone that tunes in. You are absolutely always so appreciated and welcomed here. I do this content because I want to inform everybody and I want to lift up spirits. Thank you for tuning in. Check this out. This is the problem that we have with our youth in the education system. It says here, we don't educate. We indoctrinate, right? Keep your kids. If your kids do have to go to public schools, what you need to do as a parent is inform them and teach them the things that they truly need to know at home, as well as letting them learn and be a part of society with other kids is very important so that they can socialize. But yes, stay away from the public education systems and try to teach your kids everything they need to know. Everything that you wished you could have been taught, you need to teach them. Moving on here. Not often do we see a dog speak for the whole entire realm as it, you know what's on Justin Truth He Don't's face. Thought that was hilarious. And we got Donald Trump. Many say that it's 100 times bigger than Watergate. And yet the mainstream media doesn't even report the fact that Joe Biden has illegally taken millions and millions of dollars from China, Ukraine, and many other countries. Is that why Biden is allowing China to buy military facilities in Cuba? Which is crazy that the Cubans are allowing Chinese military operations. It's getting a little bit close to the United States. Why hundreds of billions of dollars are given without any control to the Ukraine. Or why we allow the cartels to totally run our horrendous open border. All of these agendas are literally being set up for talking points so that Trump can come out and go against them. Come on, let's do another song break, and I will see you guys after this.
I'm killing us. Why'd you have to leave your hair on the pillows? Now I can't even sleep. Your perfume is stained on my clothes. There's no way that you'll never be. I said not to call you, and I swear I tried to, but I really need my best friend. I'm sorry it's so late, I just couldn't think straight, 'cause this doesn't feel like the end. And I'm wondering, is it killing you like it's killing me? 'Cause you're out getting drunk like it's therapy. Was it really you who was loving me? Or did I create who I thought you could be? 'Cause I'm broken and halfway to dead. Is there still a piece of me stuck in your head? Is it killing you like it's killing me? I walked too late on a tightrope, no parachute on me. I picked up and left all that I know, trying to kill the memories. It seems like you're happy without me. That didn't take it too long. I'm out with my friends, sorry for calling again, but they're playing our song. Is it killing you like it's killing me? 'Cause you're out getting drunk like it's therapy. Was it really you who was loving me? Or did I create who I thought you could be? 'Cause I'm broken and halfway to dead. Is there still a piece of me stuck in your head? Is it killing you like it's killing me? I'm breathing a love that I used to believe in. I would have held on through the bleeding. So maybe you'll finally leave. It's what I needed.
That brand new one by Dylan Matthew with Killing Me. Back into some more memes of the morning before we head out for our Friday. Please make sure you join us tonight on the Awake Souls podcast. But guess what? Wake up, Neo. Yes, the earth definitely is flat. Continuing on, this is what happens here. Please don't go. We want you to stay trapped with us, says the Globe Believers, as the flat earthers exit the prison cell of our worldview. Let go of your faked worldview and start to see the truth as it is here. Quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson: "For me, lying about the universe is like breathing." I mean, it's a quote from him, and it's absolutely one of the most truest things he's ever said, right? I used to wonder how the Satan or Azazel could deceive the entire world, like the scriptures said he would. I absolutely don't wonder anymore. I know how he's done it, and we fight to fight back against it. If you tune in tonight, we've got Flat Earth Fridays continued over on the Awake Souls YouTube. We've got virtual reality or pressurized pizza dome. Are you going to go with Mark Sargent and Flatman X's new understandings that we live in a virtual reality? Or are you going to stick with Dirty David Weiss, DITRH, and his domed pizza model flying through outer space, traveling upwards, creating gravity, right? You're going to be the decider. We're going to show you the evidence. We're going to go through it. We're going to have more great new music. Please make sure you tune in tonight. Check this out. Have you ever researched the dino hoax? So John LeBon, another fellow YouTuber who started out in Australia, me and John LeBon go back to 2013, 2014 when we were both doing this. Now, John does have a lot of his stuff behind a paywall, but I will leave a link below this podcast where you can go and see some of the stuff that he's made public on understanding the actual dino hoax. Moving on from that, have you studied the nuke hoax? Right? Have you researched the news hoax? I will leave a couple links below again for Galen Windsor and some other things where they show that Nagasaki and Hiroshima were actually firebombed, not nuked. The evidence speaks for itself. Continue to learn more and to break away from the fear programs that have been installed to try to keep you shackled. We're going to try to help you do that. Okay, moving on. Did you know that plants can absolutely survive without us? But we absolutely cannot survive without them. Start treating the plant life better. Start loving them. Start having more conversations with the trees in your neighborhood, and you will reap the benefits. Also, kids in South Texas, stay the off the slip-and slides. It is hot. I mean, I have never experienced such heat. It was 109 degrees without the UV index added. It was up to almost 120 this Wednesday when Jason and I were working on a patio roof. I couldn't even imagine if kids ever use these types of slides here down south. Stay off the slides, kids, and stay safe. This has to be one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen. This is a picture of 365 slices, so that's one picture every day for an entire year. Now, I wish that they started in the spring. Right, the year starts in the spring. Don't go with the Gregorian New World Order starting in the coldest, shortest, darkest day of the year. Here, this would have been January. Start it in April. But as you can see here, the seasons that we have. So the earth cools. Oh, JFK or RFK, we get warmer again. We're starting to globally or worldwide warm because we don't live on a globe. And then it cools off again in the fall, going back into the winter. I thought this was really well done. Maybe you at home could do 365 pictures of your area. I think it would be cool to see. And we'll check this out before we go back to another song break. But look at this. I think this is beautiful. Look at this dog. He planting a message just for you. It should say Jesteś śliczna jak ty w gwiazdy na niebie, but he's going to make it a little more simple.
Slowly kissing
That brand new one was Kid From My Way and Lost Signal with their brand new hit. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into this last section of the morning show before we go about our Friday. Thank you very much for tuning in. And what I really want you to do is to tune in. Not to me, but tune into your own body. It has access to infinite intelligence and is communicating that intelligence to you all the time. That feeling in your heart, your gut, your back, your knees, it's carrying information for you. So go on and close your eyes, calm your body, and slow your brain waves, and focus on that part of your body. Ask it what the message is for you. Trust the first thing that pops up. And if your initial response is, I don't know, be patient. You do know, and that information will come. You can receive information on how to heal, how to grow, and what to do next. It's absolutely incredible. And everyone can do it. Just trust what comes up. The message will get clearer the more you tune in and trust. So go on this weekend and tune in to your true self. Because when you do that, you're actually going to raise your vibration. One way to raise your vibration is to fill your heart and mind with loving kindness, with tranquility, and with peace. When you can create a mindset with such an energy field, your burdens will be eased, even in the toughest of times. Right? Be yourself. Embrace your uniqueness, your flaws, and your strengths, for they are what makes you extraordinary, beautiful. Stand tall, for your light radiates from within, illuminating the path to self-acceptance and embracing the beauty of who you truly are. You are a phoenix. Within you lies a fire that cannot be extinguished, a spirit that refuses to give up. Embrace the challenges. Push forward. Victory awaits those who persist. Never surrender to debt or despair, for the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And with the unwavering determination, you can conquer any mountain that stands in your way. And last but not least, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and that you realize that you live in a supernatural virtual reality. Make sure you tune in tonight on the Awake Souls YouTube channel for Flat Earth Fridays, and we have so much more planned and prepared for you. So thank you for bearing with us. I know we had some technical glitches, but we did fight through it. We don't give up around here. We do the best that we can, and we'll never, ever stop for eternity. So thank you for tuning in. It's now 9:45 a.m. in the Central Standard Time, and this last drum and bass song is a throwback for me. When I started listening to drum and bass music back in 1992-93, there was an album that came out by Ronnie Harris that was called Brown Paper Bag, and I was lucky enough to go to the concert where I seen Ronnie Harris and a band actually play the music live, the drum and bass. And this song sort of reminds me of that style, and it has such a great message. So, Jedena moja królowa, jesteś śliczna jak te gwiazdy na niebie, and I will see you guys tonight. Thank you very much.
You don't understand how much I love you, baby. You don't understand how much I love you, baby, baby, baby. understand.